Okay, my next senior award goes to Chris Hopwood. And Chris indicated that he is going to St. Louis University and he's majoring in public health on a pre-physician assistant track. And in terms of scholarships, Chris, you've received the President's Scholarship and the Presidential Finalist Scholarship, and it's for $98,000. That's $24,000 a year. You've also received the Missouri Bright Flight Scholarship, which is $3,000 a year. So congratulations. I know your mom was telling me you were in the running for some large scholarships there, and it looks like you got them. So congratulations. Listing your 5 favorite memories. First, which I know this was mean of me to do, and I don't know how well I pulled it off. I guess for some people we pulled it off. But in Albuquerque, we were in Albuquerque and it was on April Fool's Day. And then one of the parents had said, "Oh, it's April Fool's Day. So, you know their kids are going to get us, so we've got to get them first. So is there something that we can do to get them?" And then, so I thought for a minute, and I go, "Oh, I think I've got it." And actually, if you noticed, when I was doing the April Fool's joke, a lot of the parents couldn't stay on the bus because they knew what was going on, and they couldn't keep a straight face. Now, I did my little blurb on the bus, and that was about as long as I could handle keeping a straight face, because I had to get off the bus, and then I kind of smiled and laughed a little bit under my breath. So, but yeah, it was a pretty funny. So I know it was probably a little mean, but it was with love, and at the same time, I was real happy with you guys on the trip. At that point in the trip, just how you guys, were conducting yourselves, how you were well behaved, and really the things that you were doing, you were making meaningful experiences out of the things that you all were doing. So as well, I was just really happy with you all. Other memories was the trumpet breakfasts at Bob Evans, and before marching band contests. And I have never eaten at Bob Evans, and I know that Bob Evans over in Limburg has been there a long, long time. And I know there was a couple other people had mentioned that in their memories, as far as I think Perry had mentioned that in his memories of enjoying going there. And it's probably, you guys are a good section, you guys are a hard working section, so I could see, were you all getting together socially, especially before you're getting ready to go into battle at a marching contest, that there would be something really bonding about that. So let's see. Other things that you mentioned, playing in all suburban band with Chris for the last 2 years. And that really made me proud of you. I know, and the way you phrased it, which was really pretty funny, because you're like, "Yeah, my mom is making me try out." And you probably should have tried out long before that, just then, because I know you were pretty competitive in middle school, so there's no reason coming to high school that you wouldn't do well and be as competitive. And when you look at it from where your junior year, your senior year, you moved up the ranks from junior to senior year. I think you were like 4th chair or 3rd chair, something like that, overall in the group. And that was pretty amazing to have that kind of growth and that kind of continued growth. And you would have been competitive your sophomore and freshman year too, if you'd put forth. But at the same time, I know you were doing soccer and a lot of other things, which kind of pulls your time. But you have a lot of natural musical talent, which which really serves you well. Let's see here. Other things that you talked about as memories. Oh yeah, this being just the coolest thing. You guys playing in solo and ensemble the last couple of years. I mean, yeah, your ensembles were amazing. the collection of guys that you all put together and going to state. I mean, just, I loved hearing you all, especially this past year. I mean, you guys really matured and came into your own. And you may not know this, but I sent videos of you guys to Mr. Kennison because I was so proud of how you all sounded. And then what you played when the eighth graders, when the middle school kids came, was adding extra movements to what I heard you all play at Solo Ensemble, and that was the coolest thing. And he loved it. He loved the you and Sean playing those trumpet parts, and he was a trumpet player, so he knew what you guys were going through. And also your last memory was the Disney trip, and and I'm glad that that was one of those memorable trips for you guys. I got a lot of slack. My wife was pretty mad at me because we went to Disney basically every other year. Well, we went to Disney, and then we went to New York, and then went to Disney again. And my wife was kind of angry. She's like, "You're going to burn them out on Disney." And I'm like, "How do you burn out on Disney?" But anyway, so I am glad that you liked it. I'm glad, it is a place you can go and see something new every time you go there, because it's not something that you can do everything there is to do. So, and then this last time we went, we tried to give you guys greater levels of freedom, being able to go to all the parks and pick and choose what you wanted to do. So we tried to expand the trip and make it even more interesting for you. So it was a good job, and it was a good trip, and I'm glad you were there. Now, some memories on you. And this is kind of fun because you being the third kiddo coming through band, and that's an anomaly too. That's an exception. So most of the time we don't have multiple siblings come through the program. One, because a lot of times the multiple siblings can't endure the discipline and demand. Sometimes in a family you'll have one person that can do it, but the others cannot. So you guys as a family are already pretty special, having 3 kiddos come through the program, and then 3 kiddos working hard and excelling. But I remember at a point talking to your mom, and she was talking about you as a little kid. And I think you were in strings. You might have been in middle school band at the time, or you might have been at that point where you're getting ready to choose. And I think your mom was kind of talking to me about you doing band or strings. And of course, I was going to encourage you to do band. So obviously I did the hard sell. And, I probably wasn't real nice to the string program at that particular one because I wanted you in band. And, your mom had said, your mom was a piano player. She's a good piano player too. And your mom had said, yeah, this, Chris, he's got some talent. He's got some musical ability. And, you'd probably been taking piano lessons pretty young, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit too. But, she just kind of had a sense of you. And I remember your mom accompanying your brother at Solo Ensemble. So your mom can play. Your mom has some chops, so she can play. But, and I just really wanted you. I knew your family. I knew what you guys were made of, and I just really wanted you. And I wanted you in the program very young. And luckily, it worked out. You ended up doing band and going the route and coming to high school band. And, for sure you didn't disappoint. I mean, all those things that I've come to know about your family, the hard work and the motivation, you fell right into that expectation of you all. So the one thing that I do want to scold you about, and nicely, is you're actually a better piano player than you ever let on, because there were some things we were doing in band. I'm looking for piano players for stuff, and then one of the kids had mentioned you, and then either you were kidding me, but what I think it really was, you just wanted to play trumpet, because I'd say, hey, about playing piano, Hopwood, and you're like, oh, I don't know, Brown, I'm not that good, I'm not, but you downplayed it totally. But yeah, I've heard you play piano in class. You are a very good piano player. And if I had stuck to my guns, I probably would have got you to play piano on something. So, but I think on the other side of it too, I think you just really liked playing trumpet. So because of that, I think it kind of kept you on trumpet. But I was exceptionally proud of you, and you mentioned this in one of your memories, but I was going to talk about this, is you auditioning for all suburban band. You know, and if you need like an indicator or barometer, and not that that is a end all barometer, you know, but to show that, I mean, you're a good player. You have talent, you have ability, and be able to come into suburban band and make it really essentially in the high school. And that's a huge difference coming from middle school. Middle school to high school, that jump is huge. So you coming into high school and make that group right from the very start, and then excelling. And I know your senior year, as far as going to state, you know, you got sick and, you know, you weren't able to go, you know, but, you know, I think just as much as anybody, you had as good of a shot as anybody on making that group at state as well. So, you know, not to downplay yourself, you know, you're just kind of a natural talent. You didn't have tons of private lessons, you know, but you just kind of, you know, through your individual musicianship would just kind of find ways of making it work and making it sound good. And, you know, as a player in the band, as a section player, as a leader in the band, I mean, you fulfilled all of those things. You did everything that, you know, I could have asked of you and then some. And, you know, in all this, you're juggling playing varsity soccer and playing soccer all 4 years. And, you know, especially, you know, playing any varsity sport and doing band is a tough juggle. And obviously I could have given you multiple awards in terms of the athlete, musician, and so on and so on. But, you know, I actually, with a lot of thought, and I felt in my mind, this really does fit you and suit you. Because the John Phillip Sousa Award is the oldest band award in the country in terms of world band. And you can even look that up, and you can look at the qualities of the person that's considered the John Phillip Sousa Award. And I think those qualities suit you very well. In most cases, it's going to be that kid who is the best musician, who's going to be the strongest leader. You know, and the history of John Phillip Sousa in the world of band. We don't really talk about that and have the time to talk about that, but he was, without a doubt, an amazing musician, an amazing leader. And also, if you look at the past history of the people that won the John Phillip Sousa Award, there's a lot of people who've come through and that are outstanding musicians and whatnot, and that have been the John Phillip Sousa Award winners. So, you know, going back to my wife was a John Phillip Sousa Award winner. You know, I'm sorry, I'm a John Phillip Sousa Award winner here at Melville. It's not trying to you know, pump myself up, but you know, other people that have come through here have been also John Phillip Sousa Award winners who are band directors and doing great things now. So, you know, I do think it's fitting, and I give this award to you with the greatest amount of respect and admiration for your time here and everything that you've given us. So, thank you much, Hopwood, and you've done a great job, and congratulations on the John Phillip Sousa Award.